First off, our conversation last week about belts. Several of you have reached out to me, and you have, uh, I mean, all positive. Everyone seems to be on board with that. Cool with like the ground rules I was setting. Um, and you can still reach out to me if you, um, if you have more thoughts. That's totally fine. I'm an open book here. Try to be super transparent and try to be really open to feedback here. So, but just to kind of like reiterate, I posted a video with my thoughts on this. So I'm not gonna like give you all the whole. I actually sat down and talked for like an hour. I'm not gonna give you all that right now. But I will say the I, I got my blue belt at the beginning of 2021, and it was a really big deal at the time to me because the concept of not having a belt just didn't exist in my mind yet. And I had started in 2017. I had a couple false starts, um, and then I finally kind of like got all in with it in 2020. And so it was a big deal when I got that blue belt. I was really proud. What did I do? Within like a few months, we were just going to remove belts entirely from the gym.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
And at the time, I was like, man, I'm really bummed. But, I was also like, I'm not going to go anywhere else. Like, I'm ride or die with Nick. And if this is what he thinks is good, like, I'll follow this, see where it goes. And he was so right. I ended up, you know, I ended up falling in love with the journey of jiu-jitsu and falling in love with this art called grappling and falling in love with the technique, right? And it really does feel like art some days. Most days it feels like absolute garbage what I'm doing. But you watch it at a high level and you see, or even sometimes you get like a beautiful sweep or a beautiful transition, and you're like, the timing was perfect and everything just clicked and you're like, yes, more of that, right? And I I came to grips with it, with that the belts really don't matter, and I still stand by that. It's still written on our wall, although our Amazon black belt is gone. Maybe I should put it back up. It's still kind of funny, but I just want to reiterate what I said last week. Like that belt, the belt's just like a byproduct of the skills that you acquire. So be focused on skill development, not what your rank is. Um, because I don't like egos in the room. I don't like a lot of hierarchy. I don't like a ton of structure, right? Like, um, I like what we've built the past few years, and I fell in love with just the art itself, the technique, the people, getting to know all of you. I know you all to like different degrees, and I hope to get to know all of you even more. But like, I like the culture we built, where I hope y'all, I hope I'm very approachable to you guys, and I hope no one feels like walks in here and feels like inferior or anything like that. I I don't really like the like cult like mentality it tends to form with like rings and stuff like that. Um, what else? Oh, and like also just as you move up, if we're gonna do this, like as you move up that progression, um, I want you to focus on skill acquisition. I want you to focus on character development. Like the mats tell us a lot about ourselves. Um, how we perform under pressure, how can we keep a calm mind when we're uncomfortable or literally going to sleep from a choke. They help us to have some resiliency and figure, and even sometimes like figure out things that we're afraid of that we didn't know we were afraid of, right? I think jujitsu absolutely teaches us a lot about ourselves, and it helps us find new limits. And I like being surrounded by you guys who are like, everyone who comes into jujitsu, even if they don't last forever, like on some level, that person is interested in like becoming a better version of themselves. And I like being surrounded by people who are interested in self improvement, constant self improvement, and pursuit of excellence in their own life. And I want you to remember that as you get as you kind of progress through these ranks, like focus on not comparing yourself against others, but comparing yourself against you. And am I the best version of me that I can be at jujitsu? And also like character, and also um, focus on rather than being like I've gone up a rank, so I'm higher up the chain. I want you to think of yourselves more as like someone has built many people have built bridges for you to be exactly where you are right now. Like all the good things in your life, like other people came before you and built bridges so that you could get to where you are right now. So as you move up and you acquire new skills, please build bridges for the people who are still coming up after you. Because like none of us would be here if someone didn't come before us and build some bridges. So please keep that in mind. I want you to focus on sharpening one another, sharpening yourselves, sharpening your character, sharpening your mind, and let the belt just be a byproduct of that. That sound good? Given that, Chad, this is for you, bro. What? Chad started here 2 years ago. Come on, man. That's right. Chad started here 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and I had nothing to offer him, and he knew that, and he's known that this entire time, and he still comes, and I've seen him fall in love with the art. I've seen him build bridges for many of you. He's also making me better. He sharpens me, and as he gets better, I have to get better, right? So I can keep staying ahead of him, because there has to be someone, right?
Yeah, always ends up being you.
But no, like, you know, and he's not the only one, right? But there's several guys that have been coming here for 1, 2 years, with expecting nothing in return except becoming better versions of themselves. And I mean, Chad has, I am formalizing a curriculum, but Chad has by all standards, he knows all the things that I'm going to put in that curriculum already, even if he doesn't think he does, right? When I got my blue belt, I felt like a huge imposter too, because you're always going to be your own worst critic. But I just want you to focus on building bridges. He already does this, right? He already embodies this, but I know that you're going to keep doing that, and I'm happy to have you here, bro. Thank you. Congrats. And in tradition, all our blue belts will get a copy of Marcus Aurelius' Meditations to keep their mind sharp. That was good part. And a knife to remember the word sharp, sharpening yourself. Thank you. There you go. Something to remember us by. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So